Hey everybody, Steve Spohn here with Spohn Performance. Just want to give you a little video tour of our standard duty cross-member mounted adjustable torque arm for the 1993 to 2002 GMF body, Camaro and Firebird. This is a 100% bolt-in installation. The torque arm will bolt to any rear end, factory or aftermarket. And your cross member bolts into the factory tunnel brace location. Biggest advantage to the cross member mounted torque arm is number one, getting it off the tail shaft of the transmission so you don't have tail shaft fatigue, and you're also not pulling and stretching on the torque arm bushing and transmission mount bushing. So you plant your rear a lot harder, get much better handling. Another advantage is you can mount any transmission into the car. Because this torque arm is mounting to its own cross member, you can put any transmission in that you want and you'll still be able to have your torque arm. We'll start here at the rear of the torque arm. The rear mounting bracket is constructed of 3/8 inch CNC laser cut steel plate. The rear of the torque arm hooks to the mounting bracket with 3/4 by 5/8 inch solid rod ends. Our tubes have 4130 chromoly threaded tube adapters TIG welded in place. And we use a 4140 chromoly male-female left-hand right-hand thread adjuster. And what that allows for is easy on-car adjustment of your pinion angle. You simply loosen your two jam nuts, put your wrench on the adjuster, and by turning it your pinion will move up and down. Very easy to do on the car. Get your pinion angle set exactly where you want it. We do jig set these before we ship them at -1 degrees. So if you put it on the way we ship it to you, it'll be very close. We do include a free magnetic angle finder that you use to check your pinion angle. That's included in the price of the torque arm, and you will get instructions with it, tell you how to check and set your pinion angle. If it's something you don't want to mess with, that's fine. Just put the arm on right the way we ship it to you and you should be good to go. The torque arm itself is made of 1.25" by 120 wall DOM tubing, and if you get the 4130 chromoly option, it'd be 1.25" by 0.95 4130 chromoly. We have 1/4 inch steel laser cut uprights that run the length of the arm. As you can see, the arm has a durable and brilliant powder coated finish. We're showing you the bright red. It's also available in gloss black. The torque arm cross member bolts in place of your factory tunnel brace. All the mounting hardware that you need to bolt the cross member is included with the torque arm. This cross member I'm showing you now is our long tube header version. As you can see, it has a bend in it to give you a lot more exhaust clearance. So if you run a long tube headers and a big Y pipe, that gives you the clearance you need for your exhaust to pass through there. On this particular version, I would not recommend using it if your car is lowered. You do lose ground clearance because of the dip. If you're a standard right height car, it's fine, but if you're lowered, you could have some ground clearance issues with this cross member. This cross member I'm showing you has an integral dry shaft safety loop. That's an option. You can get these torque arms with no loops at all, front loop or front and rear loop. Rear loop would be welded to the torque arm in this area, which gives you a loop for the front and rear of your drive line. If your car is lowered, do not get a rear dry shaft loop because you will have floor pan clearance problems. Front loop is not an issue, lowered or not, you have plenty of clearance. As you can see, our cross member is formed from one piece of tubing. We do not take a tube and hack it all up on angles and then weld it together like our competitors do. This is a very strong, formed one-piece cross member. It is made from dual tubes, as you can see here from the top. We have two tubes mirrored that we weld together for maximum strength. Dry shaft safety loop on the front will keep you NHRA legal. So if you're running at the track, get the dry shaft loop option and you'll be good to go on the rules. The front of the torque arm hooks to the cross member via our rotator system. As you can see, we have a grease fitting, keep everything properly lubricated. Rotator system is very necessary because as your rear goes up and down through the suspension travel, your torque arm gets longer and shorter. So it needs to be able to move slightly fore and aft. If that would just be a pinned mount to the cross member, you would have big time suspension bind. The stock torque arm slides through a rubber bushing on the tail shaft of the housing and is able to slide front or back through that rubber bushing. So this is the same concept, just a much heavier duty setup. On the front of the torque arm we have three options. I'm showing you the Del Sphere pivot joint here. You can also get a polyurethane bushing or a chrome moly spherical rod end. If it's a track only car, I would recommend the chrome moly spherical rod end. If it's a street or street strip car, I would recommend the Del Sphere pivot joint that I'm showing you here, which is still free to articulate like a rod end, but the ball is mounted in Delrin bushings, so it keeps things nice and quiet and very streetable. As you can see, we have rubber gaskets that we put in place on the cross member mounts, which helps to reduce NVH, keep everything nice and quiet inside of your car. I also have our cross member here for standard exhaust, just so you can see what they both look like. If you're not running long tube headers, if you're running stock exhaust and Y pipe, or if you're running shorty headers in a Y pipe, or you're just running a Y pipe that hooks up to your stock manifolds, you don't need the extra exhaust clearance that we have here on our long tube header setup. So you go with this cross member. It's the same setup as the other ones, just the tubes don't have the bend. They go straight across. This also works fine in lowered cars. You will not lose any ground clearance with this cross member. Again, showing it to you with the optional dry shaft safety loop. You can see our rotator assembly. You can watch our thrustator video for more information on that. That's what you're seeing here. A little easier to see with everything unmounted. Zoom in here and just give you a little close-up. It's not real easy to see with the powder coating, but hopefully you can see the quality of the welds coming out of our facility. We have very talented welders working here. Beautiful welds. So that concludes our video tour of our standard duty cross member mounted adjustable torque arms for the 4th Gen F body. Thanks for watching. I'm Steve Spohn, and I'll see you at the track.